We have a very special guest joining us right now, which is Colonel S.M. Kumar. He's the co-founder and MD of Midstat Advisory. He's also the winner of Sword of Honor and President's Gold Medal at Indian Military Academy. He's also an alumnus to Military Staff College, UK, and UK's King's College in London. My first question to you, sir, is how do you perceive the troop buildup in Galwan and the positions that are being occupied by China right now?
I think the center of gravity has shifted from Galwan to south of Pangong Tso, where you would have heard that in a major area denial operations, Indian Army on 29th of August, using its special forces, captured strategic heights, including Blacktop, and that gives you effective domination of the Spangur Gap. Now, Spangur Gap is strategically very important because it's the only gap through which the mechanized offensives can be launched by China in Ladakh. But even before I do that, let me just put a overall strategic picture, because what is happening in Ladakh is only a subset of the developments happening globally. So globally, you hear of Corona all the times. So there is the major health crisis. There is massive economic dislocation. But what is not so much talked about, that there is a major geopolitical recession going on. So as the world moves from a US-centric unipolarity to a Chinese-centric bipolarity in Asia, we are having two of its most powerful old civilizational states locked in a major conflict. And there is US-China trade war happening, there is a technology war happening. China is becoming more aggressive in South China Sea, it has enacted legislations in Hong Kong, there is a conflict with Taiwan, the Quad is getting more active, Japan, Australia, India, and US all having their axe to grind with China. So lots is happening on the geopolitical front, and this has to be treated as a subset of what's happening globally.
So how do you see the PLA soldiers who are now retreating from Ladakh due to harsh weather conditions as the winter approaches? How much of an advantage now do you think Indian soldiers have when it comes to being acclimatized to the climate of Ladakh?
Okay, so if you look at the campaign season, what we call the season in which actually you can have military conflicts, that pretty much ends in mid of October. And because after that it becomes very, very cold, and there is, if you look at the Siachen side and that part of Ladakh, then it's almost minus 40 degrees and 40 feet of snow. And on the Ladakh side, it's again very cold and very windy. The wind chill is very high. So effectively, no fighting usually takes place, during these harsh Himalayan winters. So what happens, but Indian soldiers are very, very kind of, since 1984, when we preemptively launched an operation Meghdoot to take Siachen Glacier. So from then we have been continuously deployed, and from 1999 onwards in the Kargil sector. So Indian troops are pretty much acclimatized and have an advantage, I think, both in terms of their battle hardening and in their high altitude and glaciated operations.
So China is now claiming to have fifth generation jets in its possession, but its pilots don't have more than 15 minutes of combat experience as per a lot of reports. Now, how do you think an air battle will play out between these two nations?
So firstly, the war does not take place in a single dimension. So let me take your first point, just the military hardware or the air hardware. I think they don't have anything in their inventory which is as advanced as Rafale, and then you would have probably, much has been talked about Rafale in public domain. And then we also have the Mirage 2000, you would have heard of, the one which was used to launch strikes on Balakot, and then you would have Sukhois, we have MiG-29s, so there is light combat aircraft Tejas, so we have pretty advanced kind of aircraft. They have more in numbers, but again our pilots are much more trained, and even our helicopter pilots and all have a lot of operations of high altitude.
So as a veteran and somebody who served in the forces, and when you look at the Chinese, what has changed over the years about the Chinese as per you?
So there was a very nice article in Time magazine which said in 1962 war, I think Indian soldiers lacked everything except courage. So our courage remains, that has probably gone even higher, and we have also battle hardened troops. Now our border infrastructure is much better and developed now. our logistics has caught up much with China. If you look at China, Chinese economy has become much bigger, but then again they also have had disadvantage in terms of one child policy. So for 40 years they have pursued this, and that may be a bit of disadvantage in a conscript army, where we have a professional army and a country of 1.3 billion people, average age of 27, with a professional military. So I think we have an advantage there.
Colonel Kumar, information is also coming in of Chinese build-up near Arunachal. Now, who has the advantage when it comes to the eastern sector?
See, again, I told you the warfare will not be unilateral, whether it will be fought in Arunachal. So there will be, whenever you have a battle, there is a primary offensive, and then there are subsidiary offensive, and there are feints. So there will be posturing all along the border, and it's a 3,800 kilometer border we are talking about. So there will be posturing all along. There will be offensives. There will be little bit of gains of territory here and there. And then instead it will not only be land battle, there will be probably something in the air. Then you have India very well positioned in the maritime domain, because it's very less talked about. I don't know, it's not much covered in media, but we have a major advantage. Andaman Nicobar Command is very, very strategically located close to Strait of Moluccas, through which about 80% of China's oil passes. So we can effectively block that. And again, we have in Indo-Pacific, we have great relationships with the other powers, the US, Australia, Japan, even Singapore, Thailand. So we have good relations with Indo-Pacific countries.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.